कालीकूर्च समायुक्त माया कूटोपदेशतः प्रणवार्थ प्रबोधिन्यौ नमामि गुरुपादुके श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः क्रीं मात्रे नमः वासुदेवेन्द्र योगीन्द्रं नत्वा ज्ञानप्रदं गुरुं मुमुक्षूणां हितार्थाय तत्त्वबोधो विधीयते श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः नमः सदसे नमस्काram to one and all. Today we are continuing on with our Tattvabodha series, and till last episode we saw that which is not Atma. We saw the three bodies, we saw the three states of existence, and then we saw the five sheaths of the body, and we saw how we are none of these. And then we also had one sadhana in the last video, Vedantic sadhana in the last video. Now we are going to see the true nature of the self. Okay, and the question is Atma tarhi kaha Satchidananda Swarupaha. So the question is, what is self? And before that there is a special word, tarhi. That means then. Then what is Atma? When we use this word then, we must understand that there is something before that. What is before that? I am saying this is not Atma, that is not Atma, that is not Atma. Okay, you are saying all this is not Atma, then what is Atma? So that is what the student is asking. Then what is it? So that then is a word which is given here very specifically to indicate that the student has now understood through contemplation, through sadhana, through anusandhana, through introspection, that the Atma is not the body, the Atma is not the mind, the Atma is not the Karana Sharira, the Atma is not the Panchendriya, the Atma is not the Karma. None of this. Then he is asking what is Atma. That is the significance of the word then in this question. And when this question is being posted, the answer is Satchidananda Swarupaha. It is the Satchidananda Swarupa, existence, consciousness and bliss, or truth, consciousness and bliss. So after saying this, okay, another word is given, Swarupa. Okay, what is Swarupa? Swarupa is own form, own identity. This own identity is very important, and only Atma can have its own identity. Why? All the other identities are borrowed identity of the Atma, or avidya of the Atma. This body by itself cannot have an identity, but Atma is identifying itself as the body. And what is the name of Atma who is identifying himself as the body? Vishvaha is the name of the Vishva, is the name of the Atma when it is identifying itself with the Sthula Sharira or the Annamaya Kosha. So Annamaya Kosha does not have a Swarupa. What is the Swarupa of Annamaya Kosha? That is a wrong question, because Annamaya Kosha does not have a Swarupa because it cannot understand its own Swarupa. That is, I am calling this as a keyboard, I am calling this as a book. Okay, so does this book know that it is a book? What is the Swarupa of the book is a wrong question. What is the Rupa of the book? The Nama Rupa of the book is this. The Nama Rupa of the book is Tattvabodha. Okay, so that is how paperback, like that I can say so many things about the book. So that is the consciousness has to exist. That ability to know has to exist, and that ability to know only belongs to the Atma. So the word Swarupa will only apply to the Atma. And what is the Swarupa of the Atma? What is the Atma knowing itself as? The Atma is knowing itself as Satchidananda, Sat Chit Ananda. And we will see what is this Satchidananda in three different portions in the following questions. The next question is Sat Kim Kalatrayepi titikshati iti sat. Kalatrayeti titikshat iti sat. So Kalatraya iti, what is sat? That is the question. Sat kim? Kalatraye, the three different periods of time. Okay. Api, also. Titiksha iti. I am sorry, a small confusion with the print here. Actually it is not Tiksha iti, it is Tishtati iti. That is what I was wondering, something was going on in the back of my mind, thinking there is something wrong with this word. Okay, now I understood. Okay, again the question is Sat kim kalatraye api tishtati iti Sat. So kalatraye api, even beyond the three times, three different demarcations of times, tishtati, that which exists, iti Sat, is Sat or truth or existence. So what does this mean? That which is existing in the past, that which was existing in the past, that which is existing in the present, and that which will exist in the future, that is truth. That is truth. So when I say past, how past are you saying? How future are you saying? Now these questions might sound very strange to you in English, but that is how we need to frame. How long? Like that I am asking how past. Okay, for example, we can say gravity is Sat because it has been existing for such a long time. Gravity is nothing but the attraction of a heavier object towards a smaller object. So this attraction of heavier object towards the smaller object existed only when the objects existed. Only when the object came into existence, these came into existence. But before the objects came into existence, where is the sattva, satitva of this particular gravity? So gravity is also not Sat. Like that, any of the universal principles, any of the laws of the universe, physical laws of the universe, that is not Sat, because there was a time when it did not exist, and so by inference there will be a time when it will not exist, and also in the interim states there are places where it does not exist. So it is very very clearly stated, because api is a word which is used here. Kalatraye api, also that which is existing in the three periods of time as well is Sat, is truth. When we say as well with time, we also include space. The as well of Kala is Desha. That means you can say gravity is eternal. As far as I am concerned, gravity is eternal, but there is no gravity in space. Okay, light is eternal. There is no light in darkness. Darkness is eternal. There is no darkness in my room right now. So it must exist in all the three times, in all the places, in all levels of existence, immaterial of your state of consciousness. That is what is Sat. And this quality, only Atma has this quality, and that is why this quality of Sat is attributed to the Atma, to the self. Okay, and there are so many other terms which are a result. There are so many other terms which are a result of this word Sat. That which is existing in the present, that which was existing in the past, and that which will exist in the future. So this non-stop existence gives rise to so many terms, and we will have to know these terms because Atma will be indicated by these terms in so many places. So you are ever existing, so it is ajanma, so you are birthless. There is no birth for you, because if I say birth, then you should not exist before that point. So ajanma is a term. And then amara, mara means death. Amara means there is no death for you, because if I say death, you will cease to exist after that and you will not be Sat. Since you are Atma and Atma is Sat, you are ajanma, amara. And then what else? Also anadi, ananta. Anadi means you don't have a beginning. Ananta means you don't have an end. Anadi, ananta. And then also you have another name for this, that is called as nitya, meaning eternal. Avikari, meaning without change. You are always the same, because if you undergo change, then the final change also you have to undergo, which is death. Now we have already told amara, so you are avikari. There is no viparinimate, there is no state like shariram. We saw that asti jayate viparinimate, all these things we saw. Okay, and vinashati. So that vinashayati is also a part of the change. So you are avikari. And then you are anami. For this I cannot give a name. I can only say Atma, but I cannot give another name for that. Self, Atma, all these things we are saying. Okay, but we cannot give any other name for that, so it is actually Anami. And then Nirakara, meaning it does not have a form, because all forms undergo mutation, and if it undergoes mutation, it goes through, it is Vikari, and if it becomes Vikara, it will undergo the final Vikara of destruction. Okay, so it is Nirakara, and then Nirguna, it is also without attributes. So this is the objectless existence of the pure being. So this objectless existence of the pure being is one nature of Atma. And also there is another thing called existing principle or existence principle, which is the substratum of the entire universe. Okay, for example, we say the book exists, the table exists, the camera exists. This is existing, this is being. That beingness of the camera is existing because of the Atma. Why? Because if I am not here, then this camera's existence does not apply to anything, because it does not understand its own existence. We need to understand this very carefully. That is, the camera does not know it exists. The camera does not know that it is a camera. But I know that it is a camera. And now, if I am here, this Atma is gone. This Atma has left this body. Then I will be sitting with a 1 rupee coin here instead of the kumkum. Or on the kumkum, the 1 rupee coin will be there. And there will be a cloth around here. See, 7:30. I should not be speaking all these things. But still, okay, death is inevitable. And there are so many dead bodies there also under her. So I can speak, no problems. So when I am sitting like that, if you put a camera in front of me, and if somebody is taking a selfie with me after I am dead, I will not know, I will not smile. So that camera has ceased to exist to a dead body. So the existence of anything is existing because of the existence of the Atma. So that is why the state of existence is one of the qualities of the Atma. Not only the state of existence of the Atma to itself, but the state of existence of the universe to the Atma is also that Astisthiti is also because of this nature called as Sat. That is the Sat explanation. Going on to the Chit explanation. Chit kim? Jnana Swarupaha. Chit, consciousness. Kim? What is consciousness? Okay. Jnana Swarupa. It is nature of knowledge, or it is nature of absolute knowledge. Because we are not saying jnana as in jnana about the camera, jnana about my system, jnana about the book that I am reading. It is not like that. It is jnana of the Atma itself. What jnana does the Atma have? The Atma has the absolute knowledge about itself. The Atma has the absolute knowledge about the universe. The Atma is the substratum of all knowership. That is the reason why Atma is the substratum of all the knowledge in the world, consciously or unconsciously. So the consciousness nature of Atma, the Chit nature of Atma, means that it is the substratum of all consciousness. Okay. So even when you say I do not understand, the I, that which is there in the I do not understand, is the indicative of the Atma, and it is showing that the Atma is conscious about itself. The consciousness, the Chit of the Atma, is what is reflecting in the mind, and it is saying there is a void about this knowledge. There is a void. I do not know French, for example. So how do I know I do not know French? I know that something called French exists. And I know that I don't know. If somebody is speaking a language, I don't know that language at all, I will say I don't know what you are speaking, even if I don't know the name of the language. So when I am saying I do not understand the language that you are speaking, or I do not know the language that you are speaking, even if I do not know the language, I know that he is speaking. So that knowledge is existing in the consciousness, because I also speak. So I understand when the lips are moving and sound is coming out continuously. Okay, if it is gibberish to me, then I know that I don't understand that language, but I understand that he is speaking, he is saying something. That human activity is happening. I am conscious of that human activity. This consciousness of the human activity is universal, and this universal knowledge, the substratum of that universal knowledge is Atma. That is why it is a Chit Swarupi. And Chit is explained as Jnana Swarupi. Atma is Chit Swarupi, Chit is Jnana Swarupi, so Atma is Jnana Swarupi. Please understand this. The true nature of the Chit is Jnana. Knowledge is the true nature of the consciousness of the Atma. So knowledge becomes the nature of the Atma. Atma is the only knower inside you. Like I explained before, when we are speaking about the Sat, the existence is existing because of the existence of the Atma. Similarly, knowledge is existing because the substratum of knowledge is Atma, and since Atma is existing, knowledge is existing. This is very important, because when you ask, can you prove the existence of Atma? Who is asking this question? I am asking this question. Who are you? Name. That is just a name. Qualification. So another person is also having that qualification. Can I say you are also that person? No. My genetics, my genetic code. All these things you can say. That genetic code could have happened before so many generations. It will happen after so many generations. And you have to prove that genetically, this is my genetic code. So what is your identity? My identity is my genetic code. Hereafter I am going to say my genetic code whenever anybody is going to ask me what is me. If you say like this, you will be considered as a ridiculous person. All these things can be said as an adamant argument, but in the true reality, your identity with the body, your identity with your mind, your identity with your ego, this is the only thing that you can say as myself when you are unaware of the existence of the Atma. So, but the thing is, when you are dead, who will call this identity? In Hindu obituary column, they will give you the identity in a very short, as short as possible, within 2-3 column centimeters. That will come, that identity will come, and people will say, for 1 week they will say, Appa, he was such a great officer, he was such an honest officer, or he was such a great scholar, he was a very loving father. All these things people will say. 1 year after that, you go and ask your friends, yeah, that person existed. 10 years, even those fellows would have been gone. Right? So your identity is perishing, and that which knew the identity was not the body, that which knew the identity was not the mind, because even when the brain is existing, even when the body is existing after the Atma has left the body, the process of death has happened, that identity is lost. And the knowing of that identity, the knowledge of that identity, the substratum that the identity was, for that particular knowledge, that is the consciousness of the identity, which is called as Chit. So that is the Chit Swarupa, and Chit is Jnana Swarupa, so Atma is Jnana Swarupa. Okay, then going on to the Anandaha Kaha. Anandaha Kaha. Answer is Sukha Swarupaha. I told you, in Vedanta, we will never say Sukha and Dukkha. We will always say Dukkha Mishra Sukha and Dukkha. When it is coming in the material plane, when it is coming in the outside world, for all the other things, the Atma, except Atma, everything else. Body can be in pleasure, it can be in pleasure mixed with pain, or pleasure pain complex. It is always pleasure pain complex or pain. It is never pleasure alone. But only one place Vedanta will use the word Sukha separately, stand alone, without adding misery to it, without adding Dukkha into Sukha. Where is that? That is when they are speaking about this Ananda Sthiti of the Atma. Okay, what is bliss? The nature of bliss is absolute happiness, without mixing any sorrow into it. Okay, so here we have this. Once again, we need to remember one of the old concepts which we spoke about, Ishtavritti, Anishtavritti. Okay, So when you are that is Ishtavritti, Anishta Nivritti, meaning whatever you is giving joy to you, when it is coming near to you, you are feeling happy, and whatever is giving sadness to you, when you come near that, you are feeling sad. So when you are feeling happiness and sorrow, what are you feeling more? You are feeling sorrow more, because we are all miserable people, right? I will give you an example. There is one video series going on with Datta Swami in our channel. 2 videos are out and 2 more videos are going to come very soon. So in that series, I requested some of my friends, okay, and also in the comment section, to list out the ailments of the body, and Swami Datta is giving cure for that from a natural perspective, from Ayurveda, and from this one from Mudra Pranayama perspective. He is giving some remedies there, Varma perspective. Okay, for this I never had such beautiful response from friends. They are sending me 100 diseases, 65 diseases. I was totally taken aback. If I am asking you to give me a list of temples near your house, not even 4 temples will come. But if I ask you to give a list of diseases, 65, 100, where are you getting this from? If your body is having all the 65 diseases, then you should be living in the GH mortuary. You are not fit to live in your house. Okay, so because we are always in sorrow, we are always in sadness. Why is that? That is because it is like magnetism. Your Atma Swarupa is Ananda. Your Atma Swarupa is Ananda. So since it is Ananda, it is always attracting misery from outside, but it is not being affected by that misery. It is always in absolute happiness. So what is happening? Atma is there, misery is there outside, misery is coming here, Atma cannot be affected, so everything else is enjoying that misery. And why is it like this? It is like this because only when misery is happening, we will understand all the things. We will go to 90% of the time, we are associating ourselves with bhakti as only artha bhakti. Meaning, when we are in trouble, we are going to the temple. We are going to the Navagraha temples for getting rid of all the Navagraha doshas. We are going to so many temples for getting rid of Pitru dosha. We are going to so many temples for we are afraid that we should go to the Kuladevata temple. We are going to the Kuladevata temple. We are doing all these things whenever misery is coming in our life. So this is called as Artha Bhakti, like the Bhakti of Draupadi, Bhakti of Gajendra, Bhakti of so this is Artha Bhakti. So Arthartha Bhakti is when we want things and we go to God. And then Jignasu Bhakti is when we go to God in order to know Him or her. And we go to God in order to become God, that is Mumukshu Bhakti. So of these 4 levels, 1000 people will, out of 1000, 1 person will do Arthartha Bhakti. Out of 1000 Artharthis, 1 person will be Jignasu. Out of 1000 Jignasus, 1 person will attain Mumukshutva. And out of 1000 Mumukshus, 1 person will become a Mukta. This is the proportion which Bhagavad Gita is giving. Commentaries on Bhagavad Gita is giving. Now what we need to understand is this Ananda Swarupa is attracting misery in order to make the mind and body, which is having the reflected consciousness of the Atma, but reversely identifying themselves as the Atma, to stop doing that. That is the purpose of the Ananda Swarupa of the Atma. What is the purpose of the bliss of the Atma? Purpose of the bliss of the Atma is to show that rest of the world is misery, rest of the bodies are misery, rest of the 5 sheaths are misery, and the only way in which you can attain happiness is by knowing the nature of your true self, that which is Atma. So why I do not experience this happiness? So why am I dissatisfied most of the time? Okay, so here in the moments when I am peaceful, I do experience joy within myself. That is the answer. That is, when you are in temple, nobody is giving you anything. Nobody is even promising you anything. The priest is not coming and telling you, oh, you have come to temple, you are a very good person, you are going to be happy. He is not tickling you. but you have one kind of happiness inside you. That Ananda is what is this Satchidananda. So when you are inside the temple, when you are doing meditation, at that time when you are peaceful, peaceful meaning no struggle, meaning I am not having any needs. So when I am not having any needs, at least momentarily, when I am not having any needs, okay, at that point of time I will enjoy one happiness, and that happiness is easily perishable because I will immediately have needs. The moment I have needs, Ishtavritti, Anishtavritti. If I get what I am needing, I am happy. If I am not getting what I am needing, I am unhappy. Again I am starting that game. But when I am not playing that game of I will be happy if I get what I want, I will be unhappy if I do not get what I want. When I am not playing that game, one permanent happiness which is always there inside will come out, and I will be able to feel that happiness. That happiness is what is called as Atmananda, and that happiness is this Satchit Ananda. And there is another analogy, another theory which I want to give here, that is this Satchit Ananda, that is existence, conscious and happiness. For example, I want a blanket in the winter season, and I will be peaceful, I will be calm, I will be happy if I have that blanket. Otherwise I will be suffering from the cold. Now when I say blanket, it cannot be an imaginary blanket. I cannot say imagine a blanket and you will lose your cold. I am not playing any hypnotism game here. In reality, when I say imagine a blanket, your cold will go off. You will say no, I want a real blanket. So that Sat Tattva has to be there. And then the Chit Tattva, meaning the consciousness, the will of the blanket must be available with the blanket. What do you mean by this? I mean the purpose is the consciousness of the blanket. And what is the purpose of the blanket? To keep you warm. So you cannot be happy with a thin blanket. You cannot be happy with a wet blanket either. So you wanted a real blanket. I am giving you a blanket which is like tissue paper. You will say no, this is not the blanket I need. This blanket is okay during the summer season for protecting me from mosquitoes, but I want thicker blanket during the winter season. So the blanket must have its purpose. And also thick blanket, I cannot give it to you a wet blanket. I have to give you a dry warm blanket for keeping you warm. So the Chit must be there. Only when these two things are existing together, the Ananda of even wearing a blanket during the winter season will exist. So Atma is real. Atma is the only substratum of all knowledge. It is the only knower of all knowledge. And only by that borrowed identity and by reverse engineering the identity into the Atma through ignorance, the body is thinking that is Atma, or the Atma is thinking that it is body. Either way, both ways the reaction goes and comes. Also we are thinking that Atma, the Sthula Sharira is the Atma, the Sukshma Sharira is the Atma, the Karana Sharira is the Atma, and we have different names like Vishwa and then Taijasa. We have all these names there. Okay, so when we are having these names for Atma in various states of being, also we saw how each state of being is associated with, how Jagrata Avastha is associated with the this one Sthula Sharira, how the Swapna Avastha is related to the this one what is that Sukshma Sharira, and how the Shushupti Avastha is associated with the Karana Sharira. So when we are in these three states of existence along with this ignorance, at that point of time the Atmananda is not felt. But when you are in the Turiya Avastha, that is the fourth Avastha, which is the peaceful nature, peacefully sitting without any needs, when you are not having the needs, when you are not playing this game of Ishtavritti and Anishtavritti, then what will happen is you will feel that Atmananda. That Atmananda, the true nature of the Atma, is Satchidananda Swarupa. And that Satchidananda Swarupa has been explained sufficiently in this video. We will see further about what is further we will see about Evam Satchidananda Swarupam Swatmanam Vijnani Yat, meaning thus the nature of the existence of oneself should be known. So we are ending this portion, and after this we will go to the universe. So far we have understood all that has to be understood about this thing, about this entity, this single entity, starting from here all the way till the feet. which you cannot see in the video. Okay, so we saw all the things. Now we are going to go into project ourselves to the external world. We are going to see about the universe, how it came into existence, all those things. So the evolution of the 24 factors, 24 tattvas of the universe, we are going to see that in the future videos. That being said, we will end this session. तच्चं योरा व्रणीमहे गातुं यज्ञाय गातुं यज्ञपतये दैवी स्वस्तिरस्तुनः स्वस्तिर्मानुषेभ्यः ऊर्ध्वञ्जिगातुभेषजं शन्नो अस्तु द्विपते सञ्चतुष्पते ॐ शान्तिः 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 नमः सदसे गुरुभ्यो नमः.